Welcome to February's meeting for GEG Iowa. I am Whitney Bacon, the leader of GEG Iowa, which is a branch of a professional learning network that is global. There is information about our website on your screen now and also in the video's description. Our website is bit.ly/capital GEG dash capital I lowercase OWA. So if you go to our website, then you can kind of peruse it at your leisure, but it has all the information that you need to connect with us and to follow along with our monthly agendas. The website's very simple. It's got a discussion board, which our discussion board is just a Google group that you can join and you can ask fellow educators different questions. And then we have monthly meetings where the agenda is and the future events and all of that. So let's get started on this month's agenda. You can find our agenda by going to the website and then going to monthly meetings. And it is one of the first things on that page. If you click the agenda, it will pull up this running document, which is the same document that we use all school year. Last year, we had a separate running document for last year's agendas, which you can also access here. You can peruse really quickly with the information about our group. There's plenty of stuff, how you can join us. There's a little information about me. And then there is our monthly agenda. So if we go to just a little bit about me, I've got 10 years of teaching experience. I work for the Educational Services for the Blind and Visually Impaired. I am an instructional designer, ed tech coach. My job is to work with our teachers on literally anything under the sun that is educational and technology based. So I design a lot of content. I do a lot of training. I explore lots of websites, resources, all of that. So most of the things that I share in GEG Iowa are from things that I have used for work. Let's just start on this month's agenda. Let's talk about my top 3 Google Form add-ons. Just a real quick spiel about like how I do a lot of my agendas on here. I always, for my resources, I have the website itself. And then I also try to have either a related video, a related article, different stuff like that. And then I always try to end the night on a bonus game, website, whatever, that is maybe or maybe not related to the theme. Today's game is not related to the theme at all. So let's first take a look at Form Publisher. So if you click on that first link, it will take you to Form Publisher's website, which I am actually going to switch directly to that website. So Form Publisher, there we go. So the first link on the agenda for today will take you to Form Publisher's website, where it can give you a little more information about Form Publisher. But essentially what Form Publisher is it's a mail merger, for lack of a better terminology. There's plenty of ways that teachers can use mail mergers, and Form Publisher has a free option, and the free option is like, it's limited. Mainly the thing is that you can generate 20 files a month. So, and like the files could be a PDF, it could be a Google Doc. I will show you examples and all of that in a second here. But then there is also, if you go to this website there, they have the pricing range information. For work, I have an account with the individual level. So I have unlimited document generation and stuff like that. It is well worth it because I exceeded the 20 a month thing very quickly, but sometimes it depends on your use case. If you are a classroom teacher and you are like, the reason that we exceeded it really fast was that we were using this Google form for a conference registration form. And so that is a little bit about Form Publisher. And I should possibly rewind and talk about Google Forms in general, how you install them and stuff like that. So I'm going to open my form, my sample form that I created for talking about our first two add-ons. So with Google Forms, if you need to, one second, I'm going to zoom in a little for you. I just can't remember what my smart keys are for that. Okay, control. There we go. So if you want to look into install various install various add-ons in Google Forms, you will go up to the main toolbar. There's a 3 vertical dot button in the main toolbar, and then you'll look through the different options, and one of the options is Get Add-ons. And then this is the menu where you can browse the different add-ons and you can install them. These add-ons, like all add-ons, are like you should be able to install them yourself. Like you shouldn't need your IT permission unless they have certain things like blacklisted. That's a different matter, but it's a little different than installing like a computer program. So instead of installing Outlook or instead of installing Zoom, you should be able to install a lot of them. So you just search for what you're looking for. There's different filters. Like if you are specifically looking for form related ones, you can filter for just forms. So I'm going to just look up Form Publisher. You will then install it. Once it is installed, I will show you how you can pull it up. But one thing I want to say also about Google Form add-ons and just add-ons, extensions, plugins in general is be diligent about what you are installing. Do some research to make sure what you are installing is legitimate and is not going to come with a lovely virus. So when you are looking at an add-on, use some different information. We've got that this particular add-on that I'm talking about has independent security verification, meaning I would assume that they have done their own verification, which is not necessarily always the best thing because you would hope that Google has done their security verification. But then you want to look at some other stuff too. You've got 4.5 star or 4.6 stars, which is not necessarily always a good thing because lots of scammers will do spam star reviews. We've got 4,288 reviews. We can look specifically about those reviews, or we can see the reviews. And this add-on in particular has 28 million plus installs or downloads, whatever you want to call it. This one is one of the most popular mail mergers out there and is widely regarded as being safe and all of that stuff. So it has been around for like 10 years. I have used it for probably about that long, like off and on. I haven't used it again for a while until very recently I started using it again. So anyway, once you install your add-on, and before I actually kind of walk you through it, I will kind of give you an example of how you could use it. So the whole point of this is with this example, I can't remember if this is the right form. Yeah, this is supposed to be my sample like registration form. So if someone was filling this out, there is the classic setting to get the send a responder a copy of their response. I have that turned off, and the reason I have it turned off is that at work I came to the realization that if you have this setting on, it will trigger CAPTCHA, and specifically for the job that I have, CAPTCHA is accessible technically, but it is very infuriating for people who use a screen reader, so people that are blind and are using something besides their eyesight to navigate a screen. And so Form Publisher was a good way to still get people an email confirmation, but not do it through Google Forms built-in navigation. So Form Publisher makes the process extremely easy. It'll walk you through everything you're doing. I'm going to real quick just show in the template that I created for this particular sample, which this template was based on an actual registration that I made for work, but I, modified it for confidentiality purposes. But so this is the template of what would come out when someone fills out this particular survey, which let's just take a real quick look through this, and we might as well actually fill it out. So I'm going to fill it out as my personal email. And 555-4444. Okay. And here, let me zoom in for you guys so you guys can actually see. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. Fake Avenue. Cedar Rapids. 52402. Okay. Company, school district, we'll just say CR. Sure. We'll say EdTech. And for the purposes of this, oh, sorry, I didn't realize this was not, I don't know why this is being a jerk. There we go. For the purposes of filling out this sample, I am going to put real stuff in here so you can see what happens when it takes essentially what's going to happen once I click submit is that the Form Publisher is going to run in the background, and then it is going to automatically send an email with a confirmation of the information that I just wrote. It's going to send that email to my personal email based on this information. And I'll kind of walk you guys through this in a second here, but I have way too many tabs. But they're necessary. They are all necessary. I'll say EdTech Coach. Sure, we're going to be registering for licensure. And we're going to pick some classes. So those are pretend classes that I'm registering for this conference. And we'll just say NA for that. We'll say for dietary, we'll say gluten-free. We're going to consent to them using my image, and we're going to agree that what we got to do to get our stipend. So I submitted on the spreadsheet this registration that I just filled out just came in, except it didn't. What? That's weird. Wonder if I disconnected something. We'll have to see here in a second. Am I not? Because that was a preview. So the preview, I don't think will generate a real thing, which is a new addition on Google. That did not used to be the case. You used to be able to do a preview and have it legitimately run it as a real thing. But that is fine. We are just going to rewind and we're just going to fill it out, pretending that, no, we'll do, sure, we'll do that. Okay, let's fill this baby out. All right, so I'm still gonna do my personal email though, unless I did just get a message. I wonder if, let's just double check. No, okay. I did not get the email yet. I need to write a script or whatever to just generate all this stuff immediately, like the fake stuff. Okay, CR public schools. This time, we'll just do NA. It doesn't matter. Okay, submit. All right, hopefully this time it will record it. We are going to find out. Okay, it did record it this time. So we got this came in. So my personal email very shortly should be getting a generated email that will give you an example of what it looks like if you are an attendee registering and Form Publisher is working on this. One thing while it's generating is these are just tags. So these are just, it is looking for that question and then it's going to input whatever I wrote for that question. So we will see, which I don't, yeah, okay. So let's see if that email came in yet. It did not come in yet. So it does take a couple minutes. While we are waiting on it, let me show you the other example that I did earlier. So this was a sample that I did earlier. Let me zoom in, maybe. There we go. So the email, this is right now, I'm sitting on my work email. And this is the email as the registration, like the form editor. This is the one that I'm getting. And then the person who registered gets something slightly different. So, and all of this is completely customizable. I wrote out these words. A new file has been generated. Please find the generated file attached to this email. Click it. And then I can see all of this. You'll notice this version is a PDF, but Form Publisher lets you send things as a PDF or as a Google Doc or as a Microsoft Word document. With the Google Doc, you can send it either like if you want it to be view only for them, but you can send it to you, the organizer, the editor, with edit mode enabled. But yeah, so this is what it generated earlier when I did my first test. As you can see, it looks pretty, like, it looks similar to the template. Maybe template. But it just, yeah, gets rid of these. The one thing that I will say about this is if you skip a question, there's no way, at least not yet, that I have found that you can just get rid of the entire line item. It will at least not have the tags, if you notice in this example, with this one. So I did not answer this question. This won't let me zoom in. Hold on. Yeah, so I didn't answer the accommodations requested, and then it just leaves it blank. So if I were to, instead of telling this to automatically send to the attendee, if I instead had it generate for me and send me the email for like the Google Doc and it's in edit mode, I could then edit whatever it generated and then I could like trigger the confirmation to send after I've done my edits, which is what I am actually going to do for our conference, because our conference has 2 events in it and some people are only registering for the first event, some people are only registering for the second event and all that stuff. So that is a little bit about that. I don't know why it didn't seem to actually generate yet. Let me check it out. In the spreadsheet for Form Publisher, when it generates your file, which it does say that it generated, it will give you a link to the file that it generated that you can edit if you set that you are the editor. And it will give you a link to the person. Oh, sorry, I am still zoomed in. It will give you a link to the actual URL. So if you need to update, change anything for that attendee, you can come in here and you can update their thing. This part in particular is extremely helpful for like the courses. I've had to in the past come in here and change that person's course. So that is a little bit about that. Hopefully the email came in to my email. It doesn't look like it did. So I wonder if I messed up something and didn't actually put in my real email, but that is fine because we can go to my sample. Oh, that's not the right thing yet. We will come back to that in a second. Like, where did it send? Yeah, it says. That's fine. I'll just show you guys what it created. So this is what it created for my, the one that I just filled out, which up here it says that the registration received today. I could modify that to also have the time, like the exact time, but for my purposes, I was like, we don't need the time. But yeah, so this is everything that I just entered, and this, like me accessing this, is as the editor. So as the editor, if I wanted to come in here and actually they tell me, oops, they accidentally did this and they need to change this to gluten-free, I can come in here and edit that. And then the email that the other person gets, which I wonder if I messed up something, which we'll just look at it in a second to see why it did not send. So, but yeah, so when the attendee gets the email, it depends on what you set. If you set it to send a PDF, then the PDF is not going to update and send a new PDF, I don't believe. If you send them a view only version of the Google Doc, then when they open it, if you haven't gotten to edit it yet before they opened it, then it will be the previous edit. If you get to it, or like if they open it after you edited it, then they will see your updates. So let's take a look at how you actually mess with Form Publisher. We have two other ones that we'll be talking about here shortly as well. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm just going to show you, once you have a add-on installed, you will go to this little button to activate your add-on. So I am going, oh my gosh, I don't know why it keeps doing that. I'm going to have to look into that. Anyway, so there's Form Publisher. And then right now it should say open, and it doesn't. So I'm going to refresh this. I forgot to grab myself a water before this session. And I'm going to give it a minute to think. And then I'm going to attempt. Excuse me. Okay, launch Form Publisher. While it is launching, I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see Form Publisher a little easier. My one complaint about Form Publisher, and this is actually more a complaint about Google Form add-ons in general, is they take a while for them to open up, and then anytime you change something in the settings, it takes a minute. So there is like 8-ish different settings that you can look at in here. It's all fairly easy to figure out. If anything is confusing, there is information like that you can get. Like Form Publisher's website has lots of FAQs and pretty much everything that you need to know. There's also, under the section that I just clicked, which I think is like account info and stuff like that, there is, I want to say there's a help button. I don't remember where the help button is. Oh, it's just right here, I think. Yeah. So the help button, which they'll take you to the troubleshooting, which then I can look up. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm trying to figure out how to do the template or something like that. But yeah, it is very easy to use. Everything is customizable. You can, let me open up the sharing options to show you guys kind of what it was talking about. Okay, that is why this menu is why my personal account did not get a thing, because right now I have it so that just my email, the editor email, is getting a PDF. I'm going to switch it so that my email, my work email, gets an editable version, and then I'm going to set it so that the person that fills out the form, I'm going to have them get a view version of this. So if you can see, that is what I did. And then there is also in this menu, I really am gonna have to look into whatever the heck that's going on there. You can personalize whatever the email is going to say, which I will show you guys what mine says. But then again, I will show you the example. And again, this takes forever for this to load. So yeah, with this one, since it was just a sample, I didn't actually put much here, but the cool thing is that you can specifically put whatever it is. So I'm just going to call this Teacher Conference Planning Committee. After that, it'll still say it came from my email address, and then you can say the subject is whatever it is. So it's Teacher Conference Confirmation, and then this has like the file name. I'm not going to do file name. I'm going to do the date. So I'm just going to switch this out with timestamp. Even though you don't need that probably. Actually, I don't need anything with that, I don't think. Yeah, so then I can do that. And then this is what is, again, sending to me so that I can open it. So we're going to click Save and Close. And then, I'm not sure how I do know that you can retroactively go back and send it. There's an option to regenerate. So I'm actually going to do that for that one that I did earlier so that I can show you guys that example email. It should be this guy. It's going to take a minute. It is regenerating, which the sample like this already exists. I think it will regenerate and make a copy. It'll do this title and then, one in parentheses, but then my personal email should get the notification now that I updated that setting. So we'll give it a second here. And then while we wait on this, I'll just remind you that this is this first option. And then there is a YouTube video a little bit more about Form Publisher. Hopefully this thing is going to be done here in a second. While we wait, I will kind of give you the spiel about the next thing we're going to talk about. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is CAPY. CAPY is the easiest way to say what CAPY is that it really helps you like with this same example of the conferences. It is like a seat limiter, choice eliminator, stuff like that. I heard my email go off, so, or maybe I didn't. Why is it not coming? Gosh darn it. So we'll just wait for that to come. Again, there's a video about this one, but this one, I am going to pull it up. Same thing, if you would install it, you would look for it in here. But once I open CAPY, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe my email is not working. Let me look up confirmation. Yeah, that's infuriating. Oh well. It should work. I probably just messed up something. So this is CAPY. CAPY is really easy to figure out, but essentially you just go through here and any questions that you want to set a limit of how many times somebody can select this thing. So like I'm going to look at breakout one. It is a course. It is for a conference, and these are all made up. I used AI to generate these fake class names. But for breakout one, I'm going to find where it talks about breakout one. My biggest complaint with CAPY is that like your questions, if they're long, you're not going to be able to see the entire thing. Luckily they go in order. So I do know that the breakout one is right after the will you be registering for license renewal, but I would recommend that you do a much simpler question. And then you can do number limits or you can do value limits, which value limits is kind of like if you're doing, like you can kind of look at if this happens, then that kind of thing. I've always only ever used the number limit. So I set limits for all of these courses for each of my breakouts. So as you can see, the active learning one, I set it to 1 because I'm going to show you what happens once that choice is gone. The beyond the textbook, I set it to 10. And then you can also see how many responses that have come in so far. You can see how many have currently been selected. Once a course fills, it in CAPY, it will still be here, but it'll have a strike through in it and it will be gone from the Google form. If there is a mistake or if you need to like increase the size of that class, you can do restore or you can like turn it off and turn it back on. And then you can like increase. It's also really easy to like increase the seat size on the fly. Everything like automatically saves, just as long as you don't close out of it, like in the process of it. But yeah, it's really easy. All of this is very, like, it's automated. The thing that I really like about CAPY also is that, like, it can work retroactively. So, like, if you already have a form that is live that you're like, that would be awesome for CAPY, you can do it and then it can run in the background. The only thing with it is that, like, again, sometimes it's a little particular of the wording, which that's something that you'll just kind of have to test and learn about as you go. So yeah, that it's really easy, and there's not very many settings that you need to worry about, but some of the settings to look at is, like, when a course like fills up, like I said, it will disappear. If an entire question, if all of the if all answer choices for a question fills up, then, like, the question still has to be there. You can't delete the entire question, but you can do a, like, custom message. So this is what I have on mine. I have, let me zoom in. I have all courses offered during this session are currently full. Please reach out to blah, blah, blah. That generally would never happen if you actually figured out your calculations correctly and you know that, like, oh, I know this X amount of people are going to register. Or if you're just using this for classroom kind of stuff, this would be great for, like, if you've ever done voting options, or, like, say that kids need to select pizza and you only want to, like, limit pepperoni to 5 or something, you know, whatever. There's lots of different options. You can also set it up so that you get an email notification if that limit is reached. So if any of these questions are completely empty, you can get a notification about that. That is only when the entire questions, all of the questions options are full, not when just one of them goes away. Those ones you have to kind of keep track. I have done some like automation and some different coding for the teachers that I did this form for, so that, like, it automatically would calculate how many classes, so that they don't have to open CAPY to see how many different classes. I'm diving into way more than you could possibly need, but that is a little bit about CAPY. Let me show you what happens when one of these classes fill up. So I'm going to fill this out again. I don't know if I still have it open. I just need to copy the code. I probably still have the code copied, honestly, but that is fine. Oh yeah, this is the same. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna do this email, because I wonder if there's something going wrong with my personal email. And for some of these, I'm just gonna do blah blah. Like, you guys have seen it generate, it doesn't matter. Register for this. Okay. So just for the purpose of showing you guys this, I set all of the first class options to seat limit of 1, so that once I submit this, they will all disappear, and so that the next person who is registering, they will not be able to select those options. So I just submitted that, and then in here I'm going to refresh it. CAPY is pretty good about updating pretty quickly, but sometimes if it looks like it has not updated, then I would recommend reloading the page. But we're going to find out. If it has already updated, every option of those classes should be, like, eliminated, which at least on here I can tell they have not yet been. But on here they have. So I think I just need to actually reload this page. And then you'll notice these classes should have, or maybe this did already, oh yeah, because I think this first one had 5 choices. This one's already updated, so it's already gone. Let me open it again. And maybe I will really quickly change the limit so you guys can see what it looks like when one of these courses is completely full. Okay. So let's modify this guy. We're going to say 3, and then we're going to say 1. So we'll do one more registration for differentiation. Okie dokie. Okay, that should have updated. I'm going to refresh this, fill this baby out. Doesn't really matter for the purposes of showing you guys this. And that does not matter. I think it's this guy. I need to do that one. And notice that like when I updated the last one to 3 or whatever, that close all. Okay. So this guy, notice it hasn't updated yet, but I wanted to point out this. So this, I already had 3 that selected this option. So I'm hoping that this will update. So I'm going to refresh this, and I know that it did because I actually just got an email notification saying it did. Let me show you guys the email that comes when you get that notification. So here's the email that comes when a question has expired, and it tells you which question is now full. So on here, if I look at the second one, it's just going to say all courses offered during this session are currently full. If the person encounters it in here, they will see, yeah, that's the only one they can select. So that is what it looks like when an entire session or like breakout session is full. So that is CAPY. Oh, and I'm sorry that I never actually updated the actual, what did we call it, to reflect that. So that's CAPY. I do not think I said anything about CAPY about like the pricing wise. So the CAPY used to have a free tier, and now CAPY has a 7-day free trial. The next step up is pretty affordable. And they offer a lifetime subscription, and this lifetime subscription was originally like $99, but they have awesome customer service that I at some point was talking to them via email, and they're like, I was talking about, do you have a discount for educators? And they said, we do not have a discount for educators. However, here's a $30 discount code. So they gave me a $30 discount code on their $99 lifetime subscription. And then later on, when we realized we needed one of our secretaries to have the premium version as well, they upgraded, or they offered her that same $30 off. And on top of this, unfortunately, then that coworker passed away and we had a new person in position, and I reached out to their customer service and said, hey, we had a lifetime membership for this person. Is it possible for us to transfer over that license to this new employee? And they did it. Their customer service is top notch, like responds within a couple hours, and they're really easy to work with. They like, if you have certain questions or something isn't working, they'll ask you to like share your form or different stuff like that, and then they will take a look and see what's going on. That's actually the same with Forum Publisher. I will say that Forum Publisher is like developer or whatever is a bigger company and has a couple other really big add-ons as well, and so they are not as quick to respond, and they are not as good in general for their customer service. Still really good. So that is the first two add-ons to talk about. And then the final one, I'm going to one more time check here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. The final one I want to talk about is called Certify'Em. So let me show you guys Certify'Em. Essentially what this one is a automatic certificate generator. And this one does have a free option where you can generate up to 60 certificates a day, which is actually really awesome. And then if you need the premium, like again, I have a link to Certify'Em's website, which on Certify'Em's website, there is a plan information, which actually looking at these, this is more expensive than it was when I got my account, but I also got my account like 4 or 5 years ago, and I only used it temporarily. I only used it for like 2 months, and I only paid, I think it was literally $3.99 a month. So we just paid for the 2 months that we needed the premium upgrade. But essentially, all Certify'Em is, like I said, is that you can take a Google form. So here is my Google form that I attached a certificate to. And then based on the person filling this out, you can set it so that once they click complete, they automatically get some kind of certificate. And the certificate you can customize, or Certify'Em has a bunch of different ones you can choose from. So let me open Certify'Em. And let's go to, I think it's show controls. This add-on is really simple. It'll have you it'll ask you whether you want to turn it on, off, You can do like, what is the passing score, which I actually didn't realize that you could set it to 0%, because I'm assuming 0% would mean that you don't need to set a score. It would just automatically send something. I set it to 80% and then just assigned one question, 1 point, which I can show you guys that. I assigned this question 1 point, and then I just said both of these are correct. Some question that they have to answer, but it looks like you could do without it. And then you could change the template. They have a bunch of different templates, and then you can change them to your desire. And all of that. And it tells you exactly how many. And then I don't remember what's in the advanced. Oh yeah, the advanced is what you can like edit what you want it to say in your email. Oh, and when they actually click submit, if you want it to come as an image or a PDF, I recommend doing a PDF that is more accessible for people. You could also share it via Google Drive. Or email. I wonder if you do Google Drive, if you have more options. It does not look like you do. And then, yeah. And then I set my date to some specific thing, any hoot. And then you could also tell it what you want it to be, the file title. So that is, and again, I did it again where I forgot to update my title. I'm really bad about that, guys. Sorry. So that's that. Let me show you the example that I made earlier, and then we will just do one quick example on the fly. I'm going to show you this one. Okay, so it says, thank you so much for providing feedback. And then I just did a fake one for Adrian Brody, but yeah, it auto-filled the name that was entered in and the date that it was entered in. So if we were to do that again real quick, like... let's do this. I'm going to, oh shoot, hopefully, okay, this let me do this. Okay, we'll do, since Nick Ramstead is online, I'm going to do a lovely certificate for Nick Ramstead. Let's say there was not adequate time, because that's the one, it doesn't matter what I have there. Another way that people can use this as a teacher is just as an actual quiz. So like if you are a classroom teacher and you have an actual quiz and then you set it so that students get a automatically generated certificate if they are over 70% or something, then that is how you could use this. Okay, so then I don't remember how quick Certify'Em is to generate. It does come with a little, where is my spreadsheet? Yeah, it comes with a little spreadsheet. There we go. So it says Nick Ramstead. I don't think it's generate, or maybe it did generate. I should have sent it to Nick's email, but I sent it to myself. Here we go. Here is Nick's beautiful certificate. I hope you like that, Nicholas. You earned a certificate of attendance for the Teacher Conference 2025. As you can tell, it was a real good conference. Okay, anywho, our last one, our bonus of the day, is just a silly, fun game that could be used for enrichment if you got like 5 minutes to kill in school or something. But essentially, it's real simple. It's literally like, it is AI generated, I think. And you just have to like figure out, okay, what beats what, and then and like you can try to get as big of a score as possible. So paper, of course, beats rock. Okay, and then it tells you a little bit about it. Okay, then you go on the next one, what beats paper, and I think for these first couple ones, because it's trying to teach you it will give you those what do you call it, like helps. But after that, so what beats scissors? I'm already bad at this. So what beats scissors? What beats scissors? The first thing I thought of was a fat person sitting on them, but that's not, that makes zero sense. What beats scissors? And obviously you could like do the rock technically does, but we have to be more creative. Oh, and the thing is that you can't guess the same word. It has to, like, for this game to work. So what beats scissors? How about like just water? Nice. Okay. What beats water? Could we say like oil? Oil does not beat water. And it tells me that 4,091 other people have tried that. They don't mix well, which is why I was saying that oil beats it. But anyway, it's real fun. It's real, not important, but it's fun. On that note, we are almost out of time. I have checked the comments and all of that, and it doesn't look like anyone has shared. Let me double check. Yeah. No one has shared any resource, so I will just leave everyone for the night. However, before we go, I want to point out our next meeting is March 26th. And I have this highlighted in yellow because it was originally March 18th, I think, but I will be traveling for work. I will actually be leading a session at a conference that I will probably put on our GEG Iowa after the fact. So we will be meeting March 26th at 7, and then after that we will be meeting on April 16th. So I hope to see you then. The March 26th date will be updated on our website as soon as I finish streaming. So I will see you guys hopefully next month. On that note, I'm going to leave you. Have a good night, guys.